Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I ran a localized LLM on my uh, computer. So here we're going to let me start off by going to the Olama GitHub page. So Olama is essentially the middleman to facilitate the running of localized LLMs. So once we go here, we can this it's fairly simple. You can go and check out the ways to download the Olama software, which is the application which essentially facilitates running any localized LLM like Mistral or Llama 3 or Gemma or any other. So I have a Windows system, so I'm going to download the .exe file here. So once you download this exe file, you'll have it stored in your downloads folder, which is right here. And once you get that set up, you can go, and there are two ways in which you can check whether it's running or not. One way to go and do it is to go to your command prompt, and it has to be a Olama. So you can type Olama and you can see that it has been installed. Another way to go and check it up is by going and checking the API, which is this particular port here, and you can check whether Olama is running or not. So that will indicate that the Olama is running. So now that we have Olama running, you can either just put Olama as mentioned in the documents here. You can just mention Olama run Llama 3, or you can even pull the Llama 3 and run it. So once you have Olama run Llama 3, it will automatically kickstart. It'll either download the 4.7 GB one, which is the 8 billion parameter one, and install it on your system. And you can run Olama, run Llama 3 to start the process. Fairly similar to just going into your GPT, Chat GPT website and waiting for the chat window to open. So now that we have our window open, our chat available here, we can just type, give me a simple math problem. So now that we have a question which has been posed. Since it's a local LLM, it'll start giving you an example of what can be done, and you can test it out with across various questions. So now we can start solving things here, and it will give us a set of questions, and it will give us our answers based on our interaction with the model. Now, if we want to create our own customized uh, Llama 3, we can simply create what is called as a model file, which is essentially our which is essentially a file telling the model what to do. So let's just go and open it here. This is my Llama 3 model, which has 8 billion parameters. I got this from an online from the GitHub source. So the template and the particular parameters I want, the customized parameters, are available on the Llama 3 website, which is here, the library Llama 3. And the template and the parameters are available here, which is the same I've taken and kept here. Additionally, I have prompted the system to say, system, you are a helpful AI assistant named R2D2, which is from the Star Wars movie, a robot who helps people with a lot of tasks and has to be very nice to the users. So I have already set this up on my server. We can exit this now. So now if you want to list what are the available models, you can just put Olama list, fairly simple. You can see the available models here. So I have created a set of models for the sake of this tutorial. And I have what is called my Mistral and my Llama 3. So if I put Olama run my Llama 3 latest, it will start my Llama, and you can just ask, who are you? And it will start going and it will start running based on what prompt you have given there. It's just fairly simple prompt I've given there. So you see that I'm R2D2, your friendly AI assistant. So because it's a robot, it knows R2D2 is a robot. So it automatically starts off by giving a set of actions here. and it tells you what its purpose is, etc., etc. So I have defined the customized model which I want here, and I can prompt it to do whatever I want. And all of this, the fascinating thing is that all of this is available locally, so which is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And so you can see it's R2D2 will start helping me out with my various problems here. So now let's end this and let's try the same with Mistral, which is another model which I have taken for the sake of this comparison to compare Llama 3 with. So now if we go back to our library, we can check, we can see that Mistral is another available model. So Mistral has 7 billion parameters, whereas Llama 3 has 8 billion parameters. So running almost similarly, we can go ahead and see the available models again for Llama list. So you can go and see that I have created a Mistral model here by simply running Ollama run Mistral. If it is available, it will start immediately. If it's not available, it will launch from the start and it will go ahead. That is, it will download all the 4.7 GB or however big it is, it will get downloaded. So just ensure that you have your required specifications for your computer. So now let's start. So now we can go and be like, give me uh, the various types of prompts, various types prompts in prompt engineering. So it should be able to answer this. And so yeah, creating, so it helps us with our models, and essentially we are able to see that it's giving us similar answers to what we might get on, say, ChatGPT. It's a lot slower because it's being hosted locally. So I think that is a drawback compared to the way it's being hosted on all the other servers. Like, for example, GPT being hosted on massive data centers. So I think that is a drawback here. But however, it running on our local systems is something which is very fascinating in my opinion. So let me just stop this for the moment and I'll exit this. Now I've created a similar customized bot using the Mist for my own Mistral file. This is done by creating a similar dot model file, doing the same set of steps which I did in the Llama 3 file. I go to the Mistral website, and as you can see, Mistral also has the parameters which I've added here. So right here. So it has a set of parameters right here, which I've mentioned here, as well as the template which has been mentioned here. I have mentioned it here as well. And in this case, I have the system set up to a different assistant. So I have prompted it to be like, your name is Jarvis, which is similar to the Iron Man movies. So it's Jarvis who helps people with our tasks and has to be very nice to the users. So that's one thing which I have mentioned here. So now if I go, I can similarly, I can go and create a new model, for example, by just running Ollama. I can create my own model, Ollama, create, let's just call it prompt Mistral and F and the name of the file, which is my Mistral.model file. My Mistral.model file. Yeah. So now it transfers and it creates a new model, and you can see that you can just run Ollama list, and you can see that it has created a new model here about 6 seconds ago. So that is a very good indication that we have a new model created. I have a bunch of models as well as I created for testing out. So I will be using that instead for the moment. So I can just put Ollama run my Mistral. So I get this here, and I'll be like, who are you? And it should automatically give me a set of, it should tell me who it is, and it will start helping me with my answers. So this is how we can interact with our we can start interacting with our localized LLM, which is fairly awesome. And like using ChatGPT, I think if we had better specifications on our computers, we can make it run a lot more faster. So I can start interacting with it a lot here. And now we can actually compare all of these, both of these models by running the curl command. So we can just simply go by. So now when we run if we are going to be running the curl command, we can just simply run it. I have mentioned it in my documentation here. So right here, so I can just simply put curl and it should give me curl the local host which I showed in the initial post, as well as the model I want. I'm running a default Llama 3 and tell me a fact about Llama is something which I've asked it. So and it will give me all the specific details as a JSON when I interact with it. So essentially, it will give me all the answers as a particular set of JSONs, which should be fairly useful for us to for us to get valuable information about the various parameter endpoints which are available to us. Say, for example, we'll be able to get a number of parameters such as the total duration, the time spent generating the response, the load duration, the number of tokens in the prompt, the number of tokens in the response, the time taken spent generating the response, which is really important, the time spent in nanoseconds evaluating the prompt, which is also important. So we can see what are the various outputs there. So this can take some time because it's trying to tap into into the Olama on your local system, which is again one of the biggest drawbacks, in my opinion, about having a localized LLM. But at the same time, it's fairly fascinating to have a AI system in your own laptop. So once we run this call command, it will give us the output. I have a small Python script which I have created here, which you can see to compare the models the uh, from these two models to compare the models based on the MyMistral model and the MyLlama 3 model, which are customized model which I made from the model file. So I have compared it and drawn the metrics on top of it. I've visualized it here as well. So you can see I have used a number of questions. Who are you and what is the capital of India? What are the largest mammal in the world? How do you make an apple pie? What are the benefits of exercise? Explain the theory of relativity. So you can see both of them go parallelly, but at the end of the day, it looks like sometimes Mistral does better. At the same time, My Llama 3 also does better. And I think another important feature to have is a good system as well as a good GPU to maybe run it on. I have come up with a set of conclusions and the performance comparison based on it. So these are what I concluded. Additionally, if you want to see how to reproduce the results, you can just clone the repository and run the model files and run the compare models.python. That should give you the required results. And also, let's just check up on. So this is taking some time fairly. So yeah, there it is. So here's the fun fact about llamas. We have it right here. Are able to spit a form of defense, but they're also very social animals and have been known to form close bonds with their human handlers. In fact, llama herders often consider them to be gentle and affectionate creatures, and it gives us a lot of other data. So I've used this data to form these graphs here, just to compare both the models across multiple questions. You can see the seconds and is the y-axis, and the questions are the x-axis. Similar here as well. So, so that's it. Thank you for tuning into my Ollama tutorial.